Okay, the warehouse first stack. So talk us through what you run today.
Yeah, so we've kind of like, when I joined, we didn't even have a mobile app. Now we do, and we currently feed all of our data through RudderStack, all of our web events and all of our app events, and even some of our server side events from some of our applications. And that just we have a destination that's set up to BigQuery. That destination gets updated every 15 minutes. And then we have multiple different kind of use cases for that. And we chose BigQuery as our store primarily because that's where we can do a lot of different things off the top of BigQuery. The plan off that, which I'll talk about in a bit, is to move to PubSub. But currently we then feed all of our BigQuery into Data Studio, and every team has different views on top of all of these events, and they can kind of create their own visualizations depending on what they want to see from the web events that we send. And then we have Looker, which is kind of, we're not thinking of moving everything potentially to Looker, but Looker is way more powerful for when you want to slice and dice the data and potentially add different data sets that may not be in BigQuery at that given point. So we have that for some deeper dive views, especially when we talk about conversion rate. And actually the big thing that we do off the back of all of this data is we have financial data, etc., that we need to process to add to our attribution report to understand how much money we've made, etc. So we run a job off BigQuery, we export to Avro, we put it into cloud storage, and then we run through Apache Spark, where Apache Spark connects to a load of different databases and a load of different endpoints where we gather data from different parts of the company, but also external. And then that actually processes what we would call user sessions in our attribution report, and then filters it back into BigQuery. So we have this like great view of our conversion and attribution, but it's also always readily available, right? Most people now have the ability to kind of see data within several hours versus, I think, it's sometimes several days.
Sure. Yeah, and we called this real-time e-commerce analytics, and real-time is an interesting term for sure, but you went from, so you're doing event stream via RudderStack into BigQuery, and you went from every 24 hours via Google Analytics 360 to 15-minute syncs to all your downstream tools.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty crazy, right? I think it's something that we celebrate regularly, because what we actually did for a long time with the data engineering team was if the reports didn't come in by 9 a.m., it would be an incident. So you can imagine that most of the time the data engineering team was responding to an incident because the reports weren't coming in, and it wasn't under their control. But I think it's a big win to go from, I guess 60% a week incidents to no incidents, because now we have that kind of clear and very quick way of reporting.
Very cool. That's incredible. And really cool that you're using, BigQuery is a really cool tool. That's probably another webinar because I'd love to nerd out on that. But Data Studio is a great tool for many things. And then the combination of Data Studio and Looker for different purposes, I think, is really smart in many ways. Because Data Studio can be really good for self-serve type things, but it has its limits. So it's kind of cool to see that analytics stack there.
Yeah. I think Data Studio definitely has its limits. I think it's getting better by the day, and they're constantly adding to it. But I do see that as kind of like the smaller child of Looker, where it's great for that immediate, like, quick visualization. And then if you want to go and do some bigger visualizations and connect to other things, then Looker is your choice.
Sure.